Article 408.4 of the National Electrical Code addresses multi-wire branch circuits and their requirement. Specifically, 408.4 focuses on identification. Each multi-wire branch circuit panelboard must be durably marked with specific wording, or equivalent. The required wording is multi-wire branch circuit supplied by more than one circuit breaker or fuse. There is an exception to this rule. The marking is permitted to be placed on a directory located on the face or inside of the panelboard door. This means that instead of directly labeling the panel front, you can place the warning inside, such as on the door or on a directory affixed to the panel. 408.4b addresses overcurrent protection. Multi-wire branch circuits need to be protected by overcurrent devices as required in this article of the code. This ensures that the circuit is protected from excessive current that could cause damage or create a fire hazard. 408.4c addresses equipment grounding conductor continuity. Equipment grounding conductor continuity must be maintained at all times, including when devices are removed and replaced in the panelboard. This is crucial for safety, as it provides a low impedance path for fault current to return to the source, tripping the overcurrent protective device and minimizing the risk of electrical shock. 408.4d concerns phase identification. No more than one multi-wire branch circuit shall be connected to the same phase or phases unless the equipment served requires more than one phase and a neutral. This provision prevents overloading of the neutral conductor and ensures balanced loading on the electrical system. 408.4e focuses on the common neutral return. The common neutral return path shall not be intentionally interrupted. This is important because interrupting the neutral can cause an imbalance in the circuit, potentially leading to overvoltage on some of the circuits and undervoltage on others, which can damage equipment. 408.4f requires providing guidance for proper installation. Instructions for the proper installation and maintenance of multi-wire branch circuits need to be provided at each panelboard labeled as required by 408.4a. This ensures that electricians and maintenance personnel have the necessary information to safely and correctly work with multi-wire branch circuits. The requirement to label panelboards with multi-wire branch circuits is a safety measure designed to alert electricians and others working on the electrical system to the presence of these circuits. Multi-wire branch circuits can be more complex than standard circuits, and understanding their configuration is essential for safe troubleshooting and maintenance. The warning label serves as a reminder of the potential hazards associated with these circuits. The durable marking ensures that the label remains legible over time, even in harsh environments. The exception allowing the marking to be placed on a directory provides some flexibility in how the information is displayed, but it's important to ensure that the directory is easily accessible and clearly visible. The requirement for overcurrent protection is a standard safety measure that applies to all electrical circuits, including multi-wire branch circuits. The overcurrent protective devices, such as circuit breakers or fuses, are designed to interrupt the flow of current if it exceeds a safe level. The requirement for equipment grounding conductor continuity is another essential safety measure. The equipment grounding conductor provides a path for fault current to return to the source, which helps to trip the overcurrent protective device and minimize the risk of electrical shock. Maintaining continuity of the grounding conductor is crucial, especially when devices are removed and replaced in the panelboard. The prohibition against connecting multiple multi-wire branch circuits to the same phase or phases is intended to prevent overloading of the neutral conductor. In a multi-wire branch circuit, the neutral conductor carries the unbalanced current from the hot conductors. If multiple multi-wire branch circuits are connected to the same phase, the neutral conductor could become overloaded, which could lead to overheating and fire. The requirement to avoid intentionally interrupting the common neutral return path is also intended to prevent overloading of the neutral conductor. If the neutral is interrupted, the voltage on the different legs of the circuit can become unbalanced, which can damage equipment. Providing instructions for proper installation and maintenance is essential for ensuring that multi-wire branch circuits are installed and maintained safely. The instructions should cover topics such as proper wiring techniques, overcurrent protection, grounding, and troubleshooting. It's crucial to follow the manufacturer's instructions and all applicable electrical codes when working with multi-wire branch circuits. Understanding the requirements for multi-wire branch circuits is important for anyone working with electrical systems. By following these requirements, you can help to ensure the safety of yourself and others. Remember to always de-energize the circuit before working on any electrical equipment. Use appropriate personal protective equipment, such as gloves and safety glasses. If you are not comfortable working with electrical equipment, it's best to hire a qualified electrician. Multi-wire branch circuits are an efficient way to provide multiple circuits using a single neutral conductor. However, they also require careful installation and maintenance to ensure safety. By following the requirements of the National Electrical Code, you can minimize the risks associated with these circuits. The wording multi-wire branch circuit supplied by more than one circuit breaker or fuse is specific and intentional. It clearly identifies the presence of multi-wire branch circuits, which are supplied by more than one overcurrent protection device. This is important because it indicates that the neutral conductor may be carrying current from multiple circuits, which can be a safety hazard if the neutral is disconnected. The exception allowing the marking to be placed on a directory is a practical consideration. In some cases, it may not be possible or desirable to label the panel front directly. Placing the marking on a directory provides an alternative way to communicate the presence of multi-wire branch circuits. It's important to ensure that the directory is easily accessible and clearly visible so that anyone working on the electrical system is aware of the multi-wire branch circuits. The requirement for overcurrent protection is fundamental to electrical safety. Overcurrent protective devices are designed to interrupt the flow of current if it exceeds a safe level. This helps to prevent overheating, damage to equipment, and electrical fires. It's important to select the correct overcurrent protection device for the circuit and to ensure that it's properly installed and maintained. The requirement for equipment grounding conductor continuity is also essential for electrical safety. The equipment grounding conductor provides a low impedance path for fault current to return to the source. This helps to trap the overcurrent protective device and minimize the risk of electrical shock. It's important to ensure that the equipment grounding conductor is properly connected to all metal enclosures and equipment. The prohibition against connecting multiple multi-wire branch circuits to the same phase or phases is intended to prevent overloading of the neutral conductor. In a multi-wire branch circuit, the neutral conductor carries the imbalanced current from the hot conductors. If multiple multi-wire branch circuits are connected to the same phase, the neutral conductor could become overloaded, which could lead to overheating and fire. The requirement to avoid intentionally interrupting the common neutral return path is also intended to prevent overloading of the neutral conductor. If the neutral is interrupted, the voltage on the different legs of the circuit can become unbalanced, which can damage equipment. Providing instructions for proper installation and maintenance is essential for ensuring that multi-wire branch circuits are installed and maintained safely. The instructions should cover topics such as proper wiring techniques, overcurrent protection, grounding, and troubleshooting. It's important to follow the manufacturer's instructions and all applicable electrical codes when working with multi-wire branch circuits. The durable marking requirement ensures that the label remains legible over time. This is important because the label needs to be visible and readable for the life of the electrical system. The marking should be resistant to fading, scratching, and other forms of damage. The instructions for proper installation and maintenance should be clear and concise. They should cover all aspects of the circuit, from wiring to troubleshooting. The instructions should be written in a language that is easy to understand, and they should be readily available to anyone working on the electrical system. Multi-wire branch circuits can be a cost-effective way to provide multiple circuits in a building. However, they require careful planning and installation to ensure safety. By following the requirements of the National Electrical Code, you can minimize the risks associated with these circuits. It's important to remember that electrical work can be dangerous. If you're not comfortable working with electrical equipment, it's best to hire a qualified electrician. Always de-energize the circuit before working on any electrical equipment. Use appropriate personal protective equipment, such as gloves and safety glasses. The information provided in this discussion is intended for informational purposes only and should not be considered as a substitute for professional electrical advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician before making any changes to your electrical system. Ignoring these safety practices can lead to serious injury or death. Remember that the purpose of these regulations is to protect people and property from the hazards of electricity. Understanding the requirements for multi-wire branch circuits is a key step in ensuring electrical safety. By following the code and using safe work practices, you can help to prevent accidents and injuries. In addition to the specific requirements mentioned above, there are also general requirements for electrical safety that apply to all electrical circuits, including multi-wire branch circuits. These requirements include proper grounding, overcurrent protection, and wiring practices. It's important to be familiar with all of these requirements before working on any electrical system. When working with multi-wire branch circuits, it's also important to be aware of the potential hazards. These hazards include electric shock, arc flash, and fire. By taking appropriate precautions, you can minimize the risk of these hazards. Multi-wire branch circuits are often used in commercial and industrial buildings, but they can also be found in residential buildings. They are commonly used to supply power to lighting, receptacles, and appliances. It's important to be able to identify multi-wire branch circuits so that you can work on them safely. The labeling requirements discussed above can help you to identify these circuits. The National Electrical Code is updated every 3 years. It's important to stay up to date with the latest version of the code so that you're aware of any changes to the requirements for multi-wire branch circuits. The code can be obtained from the National Fire Protection Association. There are also many online resources available that can provide information about the National Electrical Code. The National Electrical Code Section 408.4 aims to ensure safety and proper functioning of electrical systems utilizing multi-wire branch circuits. It's crucial for electricians, electrical engineers, and anyone working with electrical panel boards to understand and adhere to these regulations. Proper labeling, overcurrent protection, grounding, phase identification, neutral integrity, and readily available instructions are all vital components for maintaining a safe and reliable electrical installation involving multi-wire branch circuits. Failure to comply with these requirements can lead to dangerous conditions, including electrical shock, fire hazards, and equipment damage. Always consult with a qualified electrical professional when dealing with electrical systems to ensure compliance and safety.